Hi, everybody. This is Pete Delatorre, the host and creator of the Pete Delatorre Show, and I want to welcome you to Blockchain Talk, brought to you by Blockchain Ecosystems, powered by CrowdPoint Technologies. Today is session 10, Buying Power on the Blockchain. With me once again is OBrien-Brehm, who will dive in and give you some amazing insights on providing you power in your buying and your purchasing of different products. So let's sit back and let's look at this conversation. Okay, everybody, welcome, of course, as we've been talking about session 10 of Blockchain Talk. And once again, it is my pleasure to bring to you my co-host and partner in this series, OBrien-Brehm. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, buddy, how you doing this morning?
Fantastic, man. I know you're a lot better. You just had a COVID challenge there, like everybody has, but you look really good, man.
Ah, good. I'm not 100% back yet, but I'm back among the living.
Well, listen, talking about the living, the blockchain is a living, just vibrative, energetic thing that we've been talking about, and it's growing and it's taking off, and you know what CrowdPoint is doing to take that whole technology. You guys are creating new levels, new ideas. Innovation is off the charts. This is fantastic. What we're going to do today, everybody, is talk about the buying power that you will have on the blockchain. Sean, there's two terms that you've used before in our conversations that I want to define them for the benefit of everyone that may not know what it is, because that's going to be a big part of what you're going to share today. So there's two of them. What is non-fungible, and then what is numismatic value?
Oh, okay, perfect. So non-fungible. If something is fungible, we'll start with what fungible is. If something is fungible, it's tradable. So, for example, your penny is fungible. If I've got a penny, you got a penny, hey, let me have your 2 pennies, and swap it back and forth. What makes it non-fungible is when it cannot be traded for equal value. Mm-hmm. Now let's take the penny, for example. If you're not paying attention, I go, hey, Pete, let's just trade a penny. I got a penny, you want to trade it? Just for good luck, let's trade a penny. And you're like, sure, and you hand over a penny, but you gave me an Indian head penny from 1905. Mm-hmm. Well, even though actually now pennies aren't even real pennies anymore. That's how sad it is, right? They're just hollow shells. But assuming that they were the same amount of copper, if I were to melt down my modern day penny and melt down my 1905 penny, they both had equal value. It was just basically copper. We were just trading back a few ounces of copper, not even an ounce of copper. But that 1905 Indian head penny, that has collector value. Mm-hmm. It goes beyond just the bullion weight of the coin, of the copper. It has what's called, as referred to as numismatic value. Mm-hmm. Think of it this way: beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yep.
All right. So the interesting thing is, when you start getting into numismatic value, beauty's in the eye of the beholder of Pete Delatorre, because one vendor goes, wow, I really like Pete. I'll do anything to get his business. Another vendor, no offense, not so much. So when you look at the blockchain that we're building, people ask me all the time, it's like, which blockchain are we using? We're using ours. We call it code name Hitchhiker. It is designed from the ground up fundamentally different. It is built to where every node basically runs like its own API server. It can subsume and suck in an entire website. It is completely different from the ground out. We don't use cryptography to drive cryptocurrency. We use cryptography to drive transactions and optimization, both horizontally and vertically, which gets inherent value in cryptocurrency, rather than the value of any currency that's on our blockchain being based upon some arbitrary arbitrary scarcity.
Hmm.
It's based upon income. And I'm talking real income, like economics, like Y equals commerce plus interest. No,
Right.
not a big fan of Keynesian economics. I'm more of a supply side guy. So now all of a sudden you've got a blockchain based on commerce. So this becomes real important when you start talking about moving commerce horizontally through a blockchain where you're able to identify people on the supply chain that see the numismatic value beyond just the core value of something that's non-fungible. And then vertically, as you look at other people and say, wow, that's so valuable, I want to trade on it.
Right. Exactly. I think I'm thinking when you mentioned horizontal, it's in this direction like that, and vertical is up and down. The
Yep.
horizontal is the even playing field that we've been talking about. That the opportunities that each one of us have on the blockchain, because this world to this point has been driven by a couple of verticals, meaning, centralized.
Yep.
Centralized bodies, centralized institutions, individuals, and there's been only a handful of that, and then everybody's down here. Well, with all of this blockchain, it's the horizontal. Everyone has got an opportunity here with their own identity and through the decentralized process of all of this here. So I'm going to announce to the world right now with Sean that, and I'm at a brand new website, Pete Dellatore. It's PeteDLT.com. It's a landing page now. And the real exciting news behind that is that it will be powered by the blockchain technology. So, we're all about walking the talk as opposed to just talking the talk. And, working with CrowdPoint. That's going to be a very exciting initiative for myself and for everybody.
I think you're going to see video streaming at a level you've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Mind-boggling. So, let's take, for example, the horizontal application of just what you're doing. In today's world, when you start moving things that are non-fungible, you typically need brokers and you need middlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with a blockchain, you don't need middlemen anymore. What's really exciting about it is, let me give you an exciting level at the strategic level that every American should get excited about. I'm a firm believer that we should have more jobs made in America.
No doubt about that.
As a nation, if you're not manufacturing stuff, you're just consuming stuff. And if you're consuming stuff, you're not creating enough wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And over a period of time, that's not sustainable.
Correct.
And right now, America needs to start making stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to, whether it's pulling industrial materials out of the ground, ranging from minerals and ore to metal to gold to coal, or whether it's just taking all those raw materials, taking some tradesmanship and being a tradesman and assembling them. Well, when you look at the power of horizontal acceleration and you start identifying ways to optimize them, that falls in the realm of something called, by a guy named Elihu Goldratt out of Israel, called theory of constraints. And that's all. I could spend a whole day talking about theory.
Yes.
But now all of a sudden, when you leverage horizontal integration into the blockchain, you can now start identifying optimal ways to get raw materials either inside the United States less expensively,
Mm-hmm.
if you're getting rid of so much middlemen, or getting access to raw materials, let's say in Africa, and have a tighter relationships with an African nation. And because it's all in a immutable, transparent contract, you get rid of things like corruption, you get rid of things of like graft, you're able to improve costs. And now all of a sudden, when you take that cost savings along with reducing middlemen in the US, all of a sudden the United States products that we produce are actually exportable. Mm-hmm. And the important thing about exports are even more important, because that means you're getting money from someone else's gross domestic product to come in and augment your gross domestic product, and that's real wealth. It's not just moving money from Mississippi to New Jersey.
Exactly. As you're talking now, I'm thinking back to the Industrial Revolution of the 1800s, and how all the famous entrepreneurs came onto the scene, the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts and J.P. Morgan, Henry Fords and all that. They existed during a time when they had the curiosity of discovery, of searching. And we're living in a world now where most people are just, taking in what a handful of others are creating, right? And they're living their lives based on that. From my perspective, in the conversations we've had and in learning each day more about the blockchain, I think that we've got untapped resources waiting for us. And with this technology, number one, it gives us the opportunity to tap into things that maybe are not obvious to us right now. And then, once we start looking around, we're going to just uncover things that have been right in front of our eyes, but we haven't noticed that their value yet, because we're creating a new mindset of discovery and a new curiosity because, I believe, of the blockchain.
100%. I was joking with a friend of mine last night. He said, Sean, you're so passionate about this. Why? I said, well, I remember as a young cadet, when I was learning about the Constitution, I had to read the preambulatory documents of the Constitution, which were called Publius, the Federalist Papers, John Jay, Alexander Hamilton, James Madison. And I remember reading Articles 66, 67, and 68, and 69, in which it talked about tyranny of the minority and tyranny of the majority, which we're seeing right now play out with big companies determining what our rights to speech are or how we should buy. And just because they lack leadership at the top, they chase the latest. If you notice how the United States has kind of become like middle school, like everything's emotional, right? Everything's like, oh my God, you offended me. No, you offended me. You offended me more. A guy's really not a guy anymore. A girl's really not a girl. Like it's just gone out of control. It's like middle school has taken over the United States.
And by the way, sorry for the interruption. When all of us went through middle school, we had an identity crisis. Those are the years that we're, going through the puberty. And so we walk around and we don't know who we are, what we are. We're discovering new things. And sadly, I totally agree with you. We're at a place right now where we have a real clear cut, a moment of people not knowing who they are, what they're doing. And that makes them more vulnerable to the handful that are taking advantage of them in this environment.
Exactly. Wow, I couldn't have said that better, Pete. That was really, really impactful. So when you think about when you get on the blockchain, no emotion. It's a smart contract. It's a hard, it's a soft, or it's an absolute rule, and they're all assembled, and you get what you want. You basically said, look, this is what I'm willing to sell this thing, and I only want it in cucumbers 3 inches long. Okay. Don't know if you'll get many transactions, but if you do, they'll be exactly what you want.
Exactly.
So when you look at the power of the blockchain, it makes all this noise go away, this identity crisis, as you put it, go away. And it also means that the era of competition of the little guy, that's why we're here. There's some amazing, when you look at SEC laws that have been passed recently in the past few years, and you look at new ways of registering, and then you looked at, creating cryptography that supports transactional volume, and that transactional volume is based upon people accepting numismatic value. In other words, they understand the real value, but based on spatial, temporal, thematic, and semantic criteria, they move on it faster, and their smart contract is generated, and you're able to move horizontally and remove so many middlemen, and then vertically you're able to allow other people to get involved in your trade. The opportunity for wealth is amazing. And let's talk about the numismatic side of the wealth side.
Yep.
This is really super exciting. We've talked about in the past about the power of the human identity and a decentralized ID, and how consumers are going to be empowered through the blockchain. But we didn't go into really how. We talked about, if you remember, about buying power.
Yes.
I like Topo Chico. Remember, we talked about water, and a bunch of other people like Topo Chico. We come together, we have buying power. But let's talk about numismatic value of your of your non-fungible activities. And what are non-fungible activities? Give me something that you bought recently, Pete.
I know, a shirt.
Yeah, you bought a shirt. So did you buy the shirt from a store? Or did you buy it online? Where'd you buy it?
From a store.
Okay, so you bought it in a store. So if the store you went to knew ahead of time that you were in the market for a shirt, they would want to talk to you directly and entice you with real value to come to their store. Wouldn't you think?
Of course.
So here's Pete De La Torre. Pete has a decentralized identity. And then there's this event that comes up. And the theme is clothing. The semantic element of the clothing is a black shirt. You got a great black shirt on today. Maybe that's the one you bought. And so you've got a theme of buying a shirt. You semantically want to buy a black shirt. Temporally, you want to do it right away. And spatially, you want to do it in the area of Miami you live in.
Mm-hmm.
Armed with that data and the elements of your decentralized ID, the store that you bought that shirt, they look at that data as non-fungible because it's a unique sense in time right now, and they'll say, well, the value today, all they apply is the value of, well, from a marketing dollars of an ideal customer profile, we're willing to spend $1 on Pete to market to him.
Mm-hmm.
But when they know that you've got a non-fungible event, the point that you're about ready to buy a shirt and the kind of shirt that you want, now all of a sudden that has collector value. So if we go all the way back to the conversation of the pennies, you're an Indian head 1905 penny. You've got more value. You have numismatic value because you're not just a person that might buy. You're a person that's ready to buy.
Right.
You're a person ready to buy a shirt now, and I sell shirts. I'm going to give more numismatic value because I'm going to see you as a rare coin, and I'm a collector of rare coins. And man, I want that rare coin. But the interesting thing about it is Pete's not the coin. It's the combination of Pete plus his buying decision that's non-fungible.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to make a person, even though you can argue that you're a unique child of God and that you're non-fungible, you don't want to start getting the business of making human beings non-fungible because that means you're tradable, and that gets too wacky with things like flavors.
Which unfortunately, as we have talked numerous times, is the problem with centralized institutions and the world that we've been living in, because your identity is being traded.
Yeah, it's an identity slave trade. It really, truly is. Yeah.
Exactly. So we got a couple of minutes left, Sean. I want to, when we talk about buying power of the blockchain, I mean, you just gave a great setup there where it's, I know what I want. I know when I want it, and I'm ready to buy it. Okay. And and because on the other side of that, the seller of this shirt, okay, wants to, basically, we both want to do the same thing. The company wants to sell it, and I want to buy it. So the connection is a lot more efficient. It happens in a timely way instead of everybody wasting their time. They're trying to market across the board generically to everybody, and hopefully they will sell their shirts that they sell. And then I'm sitting there going to different stores and trying to see, where I'm going to buy my shirt. I think this cuts away all that stuff. And it's also, I think the buying power, a big part of it is a time saver. Okay. And it is efficient and productive both ways.
Exactly. And the nice thing about it is you've got an inherent broker that runs around and negotiates deals for you in the form of smart contracts at the speed of light on a blockchain, taking it all the way back to the beginning, on a blockchain that optimizes horizontally and then vertically. Mm-hmm. Horizontally to consumer discretionary, retail, shirt, and then vertically in the transaction. That's what we've been talking about today. It's pretty exciting because it redefines the way you buy things. It's like I tell people the blockchain's like Jerry Maguire. Show me the money, right? It's like that blockchain's working for you all the time. It's like, hey, Pete, you bought the shirt, but guess what? You got $10 back in your wallet because I was able to negotiate a savings fee for them. So they gave me an extra 10. It's in your wallet. Oh, thanks there, blockchain. Yep. So Jerry Maguire has gone out and negotiated a contract for you because you're talent and you're incredible talent and you deserve to be compensated for your buying decision.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And I think that that's important because, when we do whatever we do, man, it's we want to feel that we're getting something done to our satisfaction, something that makes sense for us, and that we have an opportunity to do so much. And in today's case, having more, feeling that sense of power, empowered in terms of buying. I want to make a big announcement to everyone watching right this very moment. First of all, we've got, after today's session, 3 more, 11, 12, and 13 of season 1. And you're probably asking yourself, what do you mean season 1? Does that mean that will be a season 2? Yes, we are going to have a season 2 of Blockchain Talk. And in season number 2, we're going to look at 11 key industry sectors that are using the blockchain and also all of the opportunities, possibilities for each one of these industry sectors upon starting again season 2 of Blockchain Talk. Sean, any initial comments on what we plan to do? We're wrapping this up, but especially with season 2 of Blockchain Talk.
I think the big thing about season 1 is we've had a phenomenal time and kind of spoon feeding people about the blockchain. For me, many of us in the blockchain are like, wow, this has been very pedestrian. But for a lot of people, we get great feedback like, well, I'm glad you're making it so simple, Sean. Whereas season 1 has been kind of a journey on into the blockchain, season 2 is going to be a workshop. Season 2 is going to be a workshop. When we talk about each one of the 11 industry sectors, when we talk about why you want to use blockchain for energy, materials, industrials, consumer discretionary, consumer staples, real estate, utilities, all
solar.
When you see the use of blockchain that way, it's going to be a workshop on how you can jump in and say, okay, I've been watching from the sidelines, but now I'm ready to jump in as a micropreneur. And each workshop will talk about not only the cryptography associated with optimizing transactions, but the cryptography and compaction technologies that make it more effective. And then finally, the cryptography from the currency that's generated by financial volume, not just by some false scarcity model.
Friends, stay tuned. We're going to have more information as we get closer to wrapping up season 1 and making that next move to season 2 and continuing these sessions, this initiative. We want to make sure that with CrowdPoint taking the lead, that every one of you that's a regular guy or girl like Sean and myself, that we can all together, right, tap in to this opportunity that's available right now and be able to take your business, your life to that next level. And that, at the end of the day, is our purpose, our mission, and what we're trying to do here. So, Sean, my friend, thank you. Thank you so much, as always, buddy. This is phenomenal. I'm excited. I know our viewers are excited. I know you're excited. And let's go to the next step. The next one will be session 11. So stay tuned for that. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Big thank you to Sean OBrien-Brehm once again by sharing some amazing opportunities and really information on how to really have that purchasing power that we all want to have. Thank you for being with us here today. This program is on every Wednesday, 7 p.m. on Facebook Live and my YouTube channel, Pete Delatorre. And again, the feedback, keep writing to us, keep sending us your comments on all of this. We're doing this together so that all of us can tap into these opportunities. I'm going to ask you to follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and if you got a moment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Pete Delatorre. Thank you so much. Have a great week, and God bless you. Bye-bye.